Awesome, awesome. All right, guys. So, what's up, guys? How's it going? My name is Daysha Haynes, coming to you from Tiger, and with the very first daily dose with Daysha webinar. I'm super fired up to share some information with you guys. So, thank you for everyone that is here right now. So, really quick, I just make sure that you guys can hear me and see me. So, if you are on the live right now, do me a very quick favor, and I want you to give me a very quick wave. Let me know that you guys can hear me. Awesome. Angie, I see it. Eugenie, thanks for being here. Steve, Mark, thanks for being here. Awesome. All right, guys. So let's get started. So in this webinar, I have a couple things. I want to share with you guys 5 steps that I created, and I'm going to spout that here in just a moment, but I'm also going to show you at the webinar exactly how I made $1,000 in a single day. So as far as the step-by-step system, so this system is something that I actually learned from my millionaire mentor, and he talks about this strategy called bridging when he's talking about building up relationships. So what I did is I took that same concept and I applied it to proper goal setting to make it really easy to bridge yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. So let's get started on step 1. Make sure you guys have a pen and paper. This is going to be an interactive webinar. So the first step in this process, super easy step, right? You know I'm all about simplicity. Write down where you want to be. And when you're writing this down, I want you to write down about 3 to 5 things, right? Just for the webinar's sake, I want you to keep it very simple. 3 to 5 things that you want, right? It could be a desire, it could be a vision for yourself, it could be a goal that you want to set. 3 to 5 things. You want to write it down. All right. Now, while you're writing down these 3 to 5 things, I want you to make sure that you're being very, very detailed with this, as detailed as possible, right? So be very detailed. And there's a reason that I'm going to be having you guys do this. So, for instance, let's say that you want your dream car, right? For me, my dream car is a Tesla Model X in red, right? I just love Teslas, love Teslas. So I'm going to write that down. I want a Tesla car. I have to be specific, so I want a Model X. And I want it in red. A really, really nice candy apple red, right? So write down what it is that you want, 2 or 3 to 5 things. Awesome. And while you're writing this down, I want you to notice how it feels, right? When you're thinking about what it is that you want, if you were to wake up tomorrow morning and have everything that you could possibly want just show up right in front of you, right? How would it feel to obtain it? How would it feel for you to get that fancy car? How would it feel for you to get that dream house for you and your family? How would it be to start up that new business that's going to take you to the goal? How would it feel? I want you to notice this and make yourself aware of it. Do you feel maybe a slight smile curls up on your face? Right? Maybe you get chills throughout your body. Or maybe you get this sudden urge to want to take action on something, right? This is going to be really, really important for the next step. All right, I'm going to give you a few more seconds to finish that up here. All right, awesome. So make sure you're as detailed as possible and focus on how it makes you feel. All right, awesome. So the next step, so now let's move on to step number 2. So steps do we want to be? Where do we want to be? Where are we now? That's what I meant. Goodness gracious. So now that we know where we want to be, where are we now? Now, the really important part about this specific step is that you want to have it in correspondence to what you want. Right? So if you're wanting a Tesla Model X in red, like I do, what type of car do you have currently? right? We're wanting to bridge these two together. So to bridge these two together, we need to know where we want to go and where we are now. So right now, I have a Kia Soul. And I love my little hamster car. This is my favorite car so far, but we always have to have something to work for. So that's my dream car. How does it feel? So keep writing these down. Maybe you want a new house. If you want a new house, maybe right now you have an apartment like I do. You have a house. You're living with your parents. Where are you now? Of course, and notice, how does this feel? So the reason why I'm having you notice how this feels is because you'll notice the difference between the way that you feel when you're thinking about all the stresses and not being where you are or where you want to be in life right now, right? When you're thinking about what it is that you want, you get this smile creeping up on your face, you kind of get excited, you might have that sense of urgency to take action on things, right? But when you're in this state of mind, always thinking about what's going on right now. Oh my gosh, I have so many bills I have to pay. I only have a Kia Soul right now, and I really want that next big car. And it's all these stresses going on in your head. A lot of the time, people are in this negative state of mind when they're starting to write down their goals. So they end up writing down goals that don't actually line up with what they're actually going for, right? So people will start focusing on, oh, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, instead of thinking, okay, what is it that I could have, right? I know that it's possible. Other people have already accomplished it. So what it is that I want, right? So really, really focus and hone in on that. So that completes step number 2. So that's really it. So write down where you want to go and then where you are now. Then we can move on to step number 3. Now, hopefully you guys got this down. If not, there is going to be a replay, so don't worry. You'll be able to go back and watch it again if needed. All right. So now that we know where we want to go, and now that we know where we are now, right? And we've gone in correspondence with each other here. Now it's time to move on to step number 3, which is to gather these supplies. Now, what I mean by gathering these supplies is we have to gather these supplies to build our bridge from where we are now to where we want to be, right? So what I mean by supplies is, what is it that I'm going to need to go from having a Kia Soul to have a Model X car? What is that for getting there, right? What supplies do I need? So the only thing that's stopping me from having a Kia Soul going to a Tesla Model X, there's only one thing, right? And it's usually the same exact thing for almost everything that people set for themselves, and that is money, right? Money. We always need more money for things. So that's going to be my supply, right? So if I have enough supply of money, then it's okay. I'll be able to go from here, having a Kia Soul, over to have a Model X Tesla. Right? I know what my supply is. So now that I know what my supply is, it's time to move on to step number 4, which is figuring out, how am I going to get the supplies? All right. So guys, to finish up a project, right, you have to go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone. You have to go from your current location and get some type of transportation over to the store, and then transportation back, whether it's your own vehicle, getting Uber, something like that, right? So you have to figure out, how are you going to get those supplies? So how am I going to get more money, right? Because that's really the only supply I need. So how am I going to get it? So there's really only 2 ways, right, for you to make money nowadays. Right? You can get a 9-to-5 job. Only problem is, for me to have a Tesla Model X, I have to have at least $5,000 down, sometimes more depending on your credit. So it has to be high paying. $9-to-5 job being high paying, right? So that's the one way to do it, or I could work for myself. Oops. All right. So work for yourself or own your own business. That's really the only other way to make money, right? I mean, there's different branches off of that. You could be a contractor, you could work online, you could create a local business, stuff like that, or you could work for someone else, whether it's a 9-to-5 job being at an office or whether it's working out in the field, still working for someone else, right? So it has to either be a high-paying job or work for yourself. Now, the final step in this process, or actually the final thing with this step number 4, is you have to choose one of these, right? We have to choose one of these. This right here, one of these 2 steps is going to be my gateway from a Kia Soul to having a Tesla. That's going to be my way, is one of these 2, because I've already figured out the only thing I need is to supply more money for me to get that Tesla, right? So now, if you've seen any of my Daily Dose with Daysha videos, you'll know this step because I say it in almost all of my videos. So step number 5, as always, is to take action, right? Just take action. I've already figured out where I want to go, right? So I already have the roadmap. I figured out where I am now. I've learned that for me to bridge myself from where I am now to where I want to be, all I have to do is to get more supply of money. And I've already found out that for me to have a higher supply of money, I can just build a business, right? Or I can get a high-paying 9-to-5 job. And the last step for me to do is to take the initiative and just take action, right? So many people already have an outline of what it is that they truly want. They already have a way to get there, but they don't take action on it, so they don't get anywhere. You know what I'm talking about, right? Does this make sense, guys? I want to know. Let me know in the chat box below if this made sense on how to bridge yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. All right, guys, that really completes it for the 5-step system. Now that we're done with that, I want to show you guys step by step, as promised, as a bonus on how I was able to make $1,000 in a single day. All right. $1,000 in a single day. Are you guys getting value from this? Let me know. Can you give me a thumbs up right now? Are you getting some value from this? Is this okay? You like it, guys? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate it. Angie, Marlon, give me a wave. I appreciate it. All right. So how do I make $1,000 in a single day? Now, if you guys have ever heard my story, you'll know that I struggled for a long time online, right? When I was 19 years old, I decided I was going to get into the online world because I didn't graduate high school, right? I ended up trying to get my GED online, took a whole year getting it, and when I went to apply for college, it was a fake. So I literally had nothing under my belt. So the only way for me to make money was to turn online. So at 19 years old, I started researching a bunch of different programs, got into a bunch of different things. And over the past about 5 or 6 years, I had spent over $10,000 on different scams and different programs that just never helped me, right? I would promise one thing, I would get in, and it was the complete opposite. It totally broke me down and really put me into a depressive state. So what I decided is that instead of trying to figuring it out on my own, I'm going to reach out to someone that I know is already making money, right? And I'm just going to follow what they do, right? If they can do it, I know that I can do it. I just need to be shown how to. So I reached out to my friend and now mentor Sam, and I was like, Sam, I see you making a bunch of money. I just seen that you made $23,000 in a 30-day period at 22 years old. What are you doing, right? If you can do it and you're younger than me, I want to know, right? Like, I want to know how to do it. So here's what he told me. I was like, Sam, I want to make $8,000 a month. What is it that I would need to make $1,000 in a single day like you do? And here's what he told me. Daysha, you're going to need a few things. The first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a system that pays out $1,000 commission, right? $1,000 commissions, at least, right? So $1,000 commissions if I'm going to want to make $1,000 in a single day. The second thing that he said I would need is you need to know how to build an audience. Now, one thing that I noticed after learning from my mentor is that there's so many different ways to build an audience, right? I really never thought that I was going to be on camera, but now that I've been on it, I really, really love it. There's a bunch of different ways that you can build an audience through blogs. Some people don't like being on video at all, so they do it through writing stories and different stuff on social media. There's a bunch of different ways. So I thought that was really cool. The third thing that he said that I would need is I would need to know how to generate leads. Which makes sense, right? For any type of business, if you're going to want to make money, you have to know how to generate leads, generate customers to your business, generate business partners that are going to be long-term if you want duplication, right? If you want that residual income to start coming in, right? So that's the third thing. The fourth thing he said I was going to need is I need to know how to convert those leads into buying customers. Or potential business partners, right? So it's the fourth thing. And the fifth and final thing that he was saying, if I want to have consistent flow of income coming in, I need to learn duplication, right? Or find a program that already has a way for people to duplicate it, right? Because if you're able to do it, that's fantastic, right? But if you want more people, if you want to have that residual income coming in where other people are really working for, not really for you, but working with you and being able to build up that large amount of money, you need to know how to duplicate in any business, right? It doesn't matter what kind of business, you have to know how to duplicate. So those are the 5 things that he said that I would need to make $1,000 in a single day. Now, I had been told this once before. The only problem with this is when I had tried to research it on my own, I would find a bunch of systems where they paid out $1,000 commissions, but they didn't know, or they didn't have any type of training on how to build up an audience or generate any leads. So if I bought into that system, that was like $2,000. And then if I bought into another system that showed you how to build an audience, that was another $2,000. Know how to generate leads, another $2,000. How to convert customers, another $2,000. And then how to duplicate, another $1,000 for me to learn all of this information. And I was like, dude, I don't have $10,000 to put up front. So I was like, what would you recommend, Sam? Like, what should I do? And he was like, Daysha, I'm going to introduce you to our millionaire mentors. And I'm like, okay. So he introduced me to the millionaire mentors. And here's what they did. So they decided that they're going to take their personal time and go out and try to find a program. So they found a program that offers $1,000 commission, right? That was the first step. The next thing is that they noticed that, of course, that system didn't have any training backed up behind it. So they decided to take their own personal time and create a training that shows people how to build an audience, that shows people how to generate leads without paid ads, that shows people how to convert those leads into buying customers or into potential business partners. And then they showed exactly how they did it. That was duplicatable, right? And what they did is that they created this entire, you know what? I know that people are struggling all the time. Instead of making people pay $10,000 to $20,000 to get our training, why don't we just give it away for free for people that join us or one of our mentees in business, right? What if we just give it away for free? If people join us in business or one of our mentees, like myself or whoever invited you to the webinar, we'll just give them this away for free. Which is kind of crazy to think about. So with all these, that's how I was able to create that $1,000 day. I decided to join my friend and now mentor Sam in business, and he showed me step by step exactly what these millionaire mentors taught. So I have a question for you guys now. If I were to tell you that we have students as young as 17 years old right now, making $10,000 their very first month and $20,000 my month too, and it was only $1,349 for you to get started on making $1,000 commissions, taking your personal business to the next level, and really honing in on taking leadership and stepping up into your power. Is that something you'd be interested in? And if so, I want you to personally reach out to me or whoever invited you to this webinar and let them know I'm ready, right? I'm ready to change my life. Let's get started. All right, guys, that really completes the webinar for today. Let me know what you guys thought inside of the chat box. I really appreciate you guys joining. Let me know if you have any questions. Please reach out to me personally. I want to know what you guys thought as far as feedback goes. I know that we have the chat box coming up here. Massive value, Daysha. Great job. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you so much. Your stories always inspire me, Daysha. Awesome. I appreciate that. Marlon says, awesome. Appreciate you. All righty, guys. So if you have any questions, drop them